Now, your host, Ken Broo, on NewsRadio 700 WLW.
New jobless numbers out today. This is continuing good news. According to what was released earlier today, new jobless claims have sunk to a fresh pandemic low. Falling for the fifth straight week, seasonally adjusted headline number is now below, get this number, 400,000. Which has often been seen psychologically important during the past economic downturns. Another number to watch, according to the stats that came out today, the total number of individuals on some sort of unemployment benefit has slipped to 15.4 million. Still big, but still coming down. And now this, if somebody said, I will give you $30,000 to return to the office as opposed to continuing to work at home, would you do it? Well, surprisingly, according to a new survey, it asked more than 3,000 employees whether or not they would rather permanently work from home or get the extra $30,000. And in this survey, 64%, almost two-thirds of those surveyed, took work from home over a $30,000 raise. Somebody walked up to me and said, I'll give you $30,000, well, not to do anything, but to do something along the lines of work that I'm doing now if I will do this, and it doesn't involve a gasoline suit and walking through a fire pit. I'd say, yeah, I'd do it. But apparently a lot of people are not. So what's going on here? Spencer O'Leary is the CEO of ActiveOps. It's a North American global company, a leader in management process automation. Their smart software gives managers the ability to lead remote teams and maximize employee engagement and performance. Spencer, welcome to 700 WLW. How are you on this glorious Thursday?
Hey, Ken. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Are you shocked that a lot of people, I mean, this is two-thirds in this survey that said that they would turn down a $30,000 a raise, a bonus in essence, a $30,000 bonus to come into an office and give up working from home and turn it down so they could continue working from home? Does that surprise you?
Do you know, Ken, I'm not surprised at all. So throughout 2020 and into 21, at my organization, ActiveOps, we help organizations measure the productivity and the well-being of staff, a lot of them working from home. And what we found with a lot of our North American, so US and Canada, banks, insurance companies, healthcare companies, is there's a real difference between can't work from home and won't work from home. So take the can't work from home first of all. The pandemic changed people's lives, Ken. So people have, some of them moved away from the cities where their offices are located. Some of them have got childcare and older people care responsibilities that they didn't have in 2019. So there is a real, I can't go back to the office. I've now got a lifestyle that means my work and my home life have to combine together. And that then links to the won't. I don't want to go back to the office. I like the lifestyle I've now got. I think I work as well, if not better, from a productivity sense, working from home. So I think organizations who are trying to force their employees to go back to the office, even giving them these incentives of we'll pay you more, people either can't do it or they don't want to do it. And one of the challenges that big businesses comes out in the survey that you're referring to have got is that it's never been easier to change jobs. So I can work from the same desk. In my office at home, I get a new computer shipped to me, and the next day I'm working for a new company. If I'm processing healthcare claims for one company, it's really similar to process the same claim to do the same work for a different company. So employers have got to be really careful. Just incentivizing people by dollar pay isn't going to incentivize people to go back to the office.
You know, this fits right in with other things that I saw pre-pandemic, other surveys that I saw, and it was a particular generation that was surveyed. It was with millennials, and they said they would much rather take a job that lives that they can integrate better into their lifestyle, as opposed to having to make their lifestyle integrate into that job. Back then it was hybrid working, maybe 2 days in the office, 3 days away. Maybe it was child care on site. Maybe it would be flex hours. But this is something that has taken it to a new level. Now, the easy answer is, well, companies should just go ahead and work with employees and understand that there are other disciplines that they have now they didn't have before. But there's going to be a little bit of gymnastics corporately for a lot of these companies now, isn't there?
There is, Ken. So we've got some roadshows coming up where we're going to explore this hybrid work, this new hybrid work model. We've got one in Atlanta on the 22nd of June, one in Florida, in Tampa on the 29th. And we're going to bring organizations together to talk about this challenge. So one of the things that our customers have given us feedback on, it's where we think we've got a real voice and a solution that helps organizations, is working from home. Processing claims or processing loans has never been that difficult to do. As long as you provide people with the right technology, then actually it's okay to work from home. One of the things that's been so difficult for organizations to adopt in this last 12 months is managing people who work from home. If I'm a manager of 10 or 15 people or 10 or 15,000 people, some of the levers, some of the tools I was given is my eyes and my ears, and that's a real management aid to think about people's performance, people's well-being, and driving business forward. I had those taken away in early 2020, and we're trying to equip managers now with things other than their eyes and their ears so that they can manage remotely. As you say, it's a real gymnastics problem for businesses. How do you balance work and time, people's well-being, people's lifestyles, and still have a profitable business? Real big challenge for 2021 and into 22.
Sure it is, because let's face it, as much as we like to think that, hey, we're all great, hey, we're all important, hey, we're all responsible on our job, fact of the matter is, if you give a human being, any human being anywhere, a chance to goof off, he or she they're going to goof off. They're going to find ways in and around of having to work a straight 8 or a 9-hour day in front of a terminal. And although you can do it with Zoom, and I suppose if you have enough bandwidth in your company, you can have everybody on Zoom, and you can be all monitoring each other that way. But by and large, if you leave people to their own devices, they're not always going to be concentrated on what they're supposed to be concentrating on, correct?
Yeah, and that's where we come in at ActiveOps. So we monitor people's PCs. We know exactly what's going on the machines during the day. But we do it for two reasons. The first is the cost to business of low productivity is big. As you say, people goofing off, people doing things they shouldn't do. But you know, most people today are actually enjoying the practice of working from home, and they know if they goof off for too long, someone will find out. So we actually see less of that as a cost of business going forward. What we do see as a huge cost of business is the cost of poor well-being. So sickness and attrition caused by workplace stress, caused by employees who feel that they have to work 10, 12, 14 hours straight days, stand in front of that terminal to do their job. We believe that's costing business more than people goofing off. It's people who are just doing too much, they're getting stressed out, then they go off sick or they go and work for somebody else, and the cost for business of replacing staff is getting bigger and bigger every week.
Yeah. And I can understand from the employee standpoint, the people in the survey turning down $30,000 bonus to go back to work. I mean, I can understand it too. Let's face it. In some cities, your commute is over an hour. In some cities, it costs you in excess of $20, $25 a day to park your car, and then you have to go out and you got to wear nice clothes. I mean, I think most people over the last year and a half have gotten used to, not getting dressed up, whether it be leggings or jumper pants or sweatpants or whatever it may be. They kind of like that. As long as they don't have to interact with other clients that are dressed well, they can dress any way they want to dress. So you save money that way. You pointed out the child or elder care where there could be money saved that way as well. I guess the real proof will be in whether or not there is productivity. And I don't think the sample size is large enough. Is it for most companies, Spencer, whether or not the productivity there matches what the productivity was before the pandemic hit? And if it isn't, how long do you think it will take that metric to get realized?
Do you know, it's interesting, Ken. We measured productivity with a couple of 100,000 of people who use our software right throughout 2020 and into 21. And for the most part, we actually saw productivity rise and continue to rise as people work from home. The two metrics that we saw drop, and productivity actually has started to drop as we go into 2021, I think linked to these other 2 points. The first was that well-being point. Human beings like to collaborate.
Yeah.
Out of collaboration comes creativity. We like congregation. We like getting together to commiserate losses and to celebrate wins. And trying to do that over Zoom, trying to do that over Teams, trying to do that over any means other than face-to-face has been really challenging for businesses. So even if productivity continues to rise, I really worry that creativity and well-being will continue to fall, and the impact of that on business is probably far greater than just that output from a pure productivity metric.
Yeah, it is, and that is so key. The ability to interact with other people and the communal nature. I saw this too. By the way, we're chatting with Spencer O'Leary, CEO of ActiveOps North America, global company leader in management process automation. And as you just heard Spencer say, they actually have metrics at their disposal to see what productivity looks like, whether or not you're in the office or working from home. I saw this the other day. I've been talking about it this week. I'm just interested in your thoughts on this. There is a large belief that because of people getting vaccinated and because of being, remotely working for the last year and a half, they've had a chance to reevaluate their lives and how their jobs fit into it. And there is a belief that there will be mass resignations that we will see now in the next several months from people that just decide, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd like to do that with my life. And I think it plays into what we're talking about. I don't necessarily want a job that makes me go into a building that I have to commute to. I want a job that fits more into my lifestyle. Do you anticipate this massive turnover that some people are anticipating in the next several months?
I think, Ken, we're going to see a turnover. There's no doubt about that. Both a turnover of people deciding to work for somebody else that is prepared to accommodate their lifestyle, and I think just an exit of people who have decided I don't want to work anymore. If you think about that pay grade of person who's prepared to turn down $30,000 not to go back to the office, they're probably well paid.
Yeah.
If we talk about the people who were only paid somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000 in the first place, and they were spending maybe half of that or even more on their commute and, as you say, their clothes and the things that kept them in that job, there's a real question then of do I really need that money? Can I manage without? If I'm not paying for childcare because I'm more flexible, if I'm not paying for maybe transportation for my elderly relatives because I can put that time out, maybe I'm just cost neutral. Maybe I don't need to do the job. So I think we're going to see both a turnover and an exit of people. And as we just talked about with some of those challenges around well-being, the cost of turnover, the cost of people exiting the business, far more than just people who are goofing off for a few hours from a productivity perspective.
Yeah. I don't know what building houses your company, CEO of ActiveOps of North America, but I think the big headline that's going to come from all of this is commercial real estate and how it is just going to tank, and we're going to see all of these high-rises in all of these cities widely unoccupied, sitting there collecting dust. I think this is the new headline. It just hasn't happened yet.
I think you could be right. Now, one of the interesting points you made was around that hybrid work. So this idea of collaboration, congregation, people getting together, most of our businesses, or most businesses we're working with, have started to settle on a hybrid model. And this is what we're going to be talking and helping businesses talk about at our roadshows, where maybe it's a 3-2 or a 2-3, so 2 days in the office, 3 days at home one week, 3 days in the office, 2 days at home the next week. However that sort of turnaround of time starts to happen. But I can see... yes, there'll be a turnover of real estate. I can see it tanking, as you say. But at the same time, there's a different requirement from corporate real estate. Offices that we have at ActiveOps, we've just moved from a traditional, 50-desk office into an office that's probably got 30 desks, but it's got a lot of walk-in space. Nobody's got a dedicated space. Nobody's got a place to sit and work every day. People can come and go as they please and work from different environments. So I think we're going to see a drop out of real estate, but also we're going to see a change in requirement of real estate.
You can find Spencer at ActiveOps, just as it sounds, ActiveOps.com. Spencer, good stuff. Thanks for the insight. We appreciate it. Stay well. We need to hear your voice, okay?
You're welcome, Ken. Thanks for your time.